You've probably met someone like this before. They sit quietly in conversations, they speak less than others, they observe more than they react, and because of that, people often assume something about them. Maybe they're shy, maybe they're awkward, maybe they're not confident. But what if the truth is the exact opposite? What if quiet people aren't silent because they have nothing to say, but because their minds are processing far more than we realize? Today we're exploring the psychology of quiet people, and why they're often one of the most misunderstood personality types. In many cultures, loudness is often mistaken for confidence. The person who talks the most in a room is usually seen as the most confident person there. But confidence doesn't always look like that. Quiet people often express confidence differently. Instead of speaking quickly, they take time to think. Instead of dominating conversations, they listen. This can make them appear passive. But in reality, many quiet people are simply choosing their words carefully. They prefer to speak when their thoughts are clear rather than filling silence with noise. Quiet people tend to process information internally. When something happens in a conversation, they don't immediately react. Instead, their brain pauses. It analyzes the situation. It considers different possibilities before responding. Psychologists often describe this as reflective thinking. Rather than reacting instantly, the brain takes a moment to organize thoughts. This is why quiet people sometimes speak less. But when they do speak, their words often carry more weight. Because quiet people talk less, they spend more time observing. They notice small things many people overlook: body language, tone of voice, subtle changes in mood. While others focus on expressing themselves, quiet people often focus on understanding the environment around them. This makes them surprisingly perceptive. They may not say much in a conversation, but they are often aware of more than anyone realizes. Small talk can feel exhausting for many quiet personalities. Talking about the weather, random gossip, or surface-level topics often feels pointless to them. Instead, quiet people tend to prefer deeper conversations, topics that explore ideas, experiences that reveal something meaningful about a person. This doesn't mean they dislike people. It simply means they prefer quality of conversation over quantity. For some people, silence feels uncomfortable. They feel the need to fill every quiet moment with conversation. But for quiet individuals, silence can feel completely natural. It allows their mind to think clearly, it creates space to process ideas, and sometimes, silence is simply their way of enjoying the moment without needing to constantly express it. Social interaction requires energy. For people who process information deeply, too much social stimulation can feel overwhelming. This is why quiet people often spend time alone, not because they dislike others, but because solitude helps them recharge mentally. Time alone allows them to think, reflect, and regain focus. Modern culture often celebrates loud personalities, people who speak confidently, people who dominate conversations, people who constantly express themselves. Because of this, quiet individuals can easily be misunderstood. They may be labeled as shy, distant, or even uninterested. But in many cases, quiet people are simply thoughtful observers. They are listening, they are analyzing, they are understanding. Even when they aren't speaking, quiet people may not always be the loudest voices in the room, but that doesn't mean they aren't thinking deeply. Often, the quietest person in the conversation is the one noticing the most. They observe more, they process more, and when they finally choose to speak, their words often carry more meaning than anyone expects. So the next time you meet someone who seems quiet, remember that silence isn't emptiness. Sometimes it's simply a mind that's thinking more carefully than the rest.